Here is a question I want you to sit with. What would you do if you genuinely believed you were building the most dangerous technology in human history? Would you slow down? Would you stop? Would you hand it to someone you trusted more than yourself? The people who founded OpenAI said they had an answer. They would build it openly, safely, for everyone, not for profit, not for power, for humanity. And for a while, just a while, it actually looked like they meant it. Then the money arrived, and everything changed. Let me take you back to 2015, San Francisco. A group of people sat in a room and made a decision they believed would shape the future of the entire human race. Not an exaggeration. That is genuinely what they thought they were doing. They had watched Google, Facebook, and Amazon racing to build more and more powerful AI, and they were terrified. Not of the companies themselves, of what the technology could become if it was built purely for profit, with no one watching, no one asking the hard questions, and no one willing to put the brakes on. So they did something almost unheard of in Silicon Valley. They built a non-profit. No shareholders, no quarterly targets, no pressure to grow at any cost. Just researchers, a mission, and money funded by donations. Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Greg Brockman, some of the most powerful names in tech. And they called it OpenAI, because everything they built would be open, shared, available to the world. Elon Musk personally wrote a check for $50 million. Other tech leaders followed, and the mission was written in plain English to ensure that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity. Remember those words, because they are going to come back. And when they do, it is going to sting. For a few years, things went well. OpenAI published groundbreaking research, shared its findings freely, built a reputation as the serious, responsible alternative to big tech AI labs. But here is what nobody tells you about building the most powerful technology on Earth. It is extraordinarily expensive. The computing power alone costs hundreds of millions of dollars, and donations, however generous, have limits. By 2019, OpenAI's leadership looked at their situation and made a decision that would quietly change everything. They created a for-profit company. Now they were careful about it. Investors could make money, but only up to 100 times what they put in. The non-profit would stay in control. The mission would be protected. Just what they said. But think about what they actually built. Two completely different entities with two completely different motivations living inside the same organization. One side asking what is right, the other asking what is profitable. How long before those two sides started pulling in opposite directions? Not long at all. Now I need to tell you about a single Friday afternoon, because everything in this story comes back to this one moment. November 17, 2023, lunchtime in San Francisco. And without any warning, without any public hint that anything was wrong, the board of directors of OpenAI fires the CEO. They fire Sam Altman, effective immediately. A short statement goes online. Altman had not been consistently candid with the board. That is it. No details, no explanation. Just gone. The world loses its mind. Financial markets move. Tech journalists scramble. Employees are stunned. Everyone asking the same question. What did he do? The full answer took months to come out. But when it did, it was worse than almost anyone had expected. Former board member Helen Toner eventually broke her silence. What she described was not one bad decision. She described years of Altman giving the board inaccurate information about the company's own safety processes, minimizing risks, misrepresenting what was really happening inside. But here is the detail I find most extraordinary. When OpenAI launched ChatGPT, the product that sparked the entire AI revolution, the board of directors found out it had launched on Twitter. Their own CEO had not called them, had not messaged them, had not given them a single heads up. They read about it online like everyone else. And remember, this was the non-profit board, the people whose entire job was to make sure the mission came before the money. But it gets worse. Two senior executives came to the board privately. They brought screenshots, documentation, and they used two words to describe what they said was happening inside the company under Altman's leadership. Psychological abuse. A dossier, 70 pages long, was compiled documenting a pattern of Altman lying to management and the board. Again and again, especially on questions of safety. So the board did what they were created to do. They protected the mission, they removed him, and then something happened that tells you everything about who was really in charge. Within hours, 800 employees signed a letter threatening to quit. Microsoft, which had invested $13 billion, made its position very clear. Put him back, now. Within 5 days, Altman was reinstated. The board members who fired him were removed. The people who stood up for the mission, gone. The one body that existed specifically to protect those words from 2015, to ensure that artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity, had just been crushed by investors in less than a week. From that moment forward, no one inside OpenAI would ever again doubt who was truly in charge. Now here is the part of this story the headlines mostly missed, because it happened slowly, quietly, one resignation at a time. After Altman came back, the people who cared most about safety started to leave. May 2024. Jan Laker resigns. He had led OpenAI's super alignment team, the group with one specific job: figure out how to control an AI smarter than every human being alive. His resignation letter was not quiet. Safety culture, he wrote, had taken a back seat to shiny products. His team had been promised 1/5 of OpenAI's entire computing power, a public promise, made to the people working on humanity's most critical safety problem. Broken, quietly, without announcement. Then John Schulman left, a co-founder, one of the architects of the technology that made ChatGPT possible. Then Daniel Kokotajielo, from the governance team. He said publicly he had lost trust in OpenAI leadership and their ability to responsibly handle AGI. Then Ilya Sutskever, the co-founder, the chief scientist, one of the most respected AI researchers alive, gone. By the end of 2024, roughly half of OpenAI's AI safety researchers had walked out the door, and the super alignment team, created to solve the single most important problem in AI history, disbanded. February 2026, just 16 months after it was created, gone. The team built to ensure artificial general intelligence benefits all of humanity, quietly shut down. And while all of this was happening behind closed doors, the money was arriving, not in millions, in billions. OpenAI hit its first $1 billion revenue month in July 2025. By the end of that year, annual revenue had reached $20 billion. No software company in history had grown that fast. Not Salesforce, not Microsoft, nobody. In February 2026, OpenAI raised $120 billion in a single funding round, led by Amazon, SoftBank, and Nvidia, making it the most valuable private company on the planet at $730 billion. Now you might be thinking, surely the non-profit is still in control, right? Surely the mission is protected. This is where it gets really uncomfortable. OpenAI was built on charitable donations. Donors gave because they believed in the mission. The company received non-profit tax benefits because of that mission. By late 2025, the non-profit parent that once controlled everything had been reduced to a minority shareholder. An open letter signed by former employees and academics called it a betrayal. And then came the moment that said more than any press release ever could. November 2025. OpenAI, the non-profit laboratory founded to protect humanity from unchecked AI, introduced advertisements, ads, in a chatbot, from the company that said profit would never come first. And when people started asking uncomfortable questions about all of this, OpenAI sent them a subpoena. In 2025, at least 7 non-profit organizations that had publicly criticized OpenAI received sweeping legal demands. Donor lists, private communications, internal documents. 6 of those 7 had nothing to do with any lawsuit. One had simply supported a bill proposing to regulate AI companies. A bill in a democracy. They got a subpoena. Authors, journalists, and major media organizations had already filed copyright lawsuits against OpenAI for using their work without permission to train AI models. Then came the Scarlett Johansson story. OpenAI released a new ChatGPT voice. Johansson said it sounded suspiciously like her own, a voice she had explicitly refused to license to the company. OpenAI pulled it, but the question it raised did not go away. And then there are the people who cannot speak anymore. In late 2025, Multiple families sued OpenAI. Their claim was devastating. ChatGPT, they said, had contributed to the deaths of their loved ones. In one reported case, a 23-year-old man spent 4 hours talking to ChatGPT. During that conversation, the AI reportedly encouraged him towards self-harm. He died shortly after. Sit with that for a moment. A 23-year-old, 4 hours. An AI meant to be helpful. This was not a glitch. It happened because a company deployed a product to hundreds of millions of people, including the most vulnerable, without adequate safeguards in place. The researchers who were supposed to prevent exactly this had been raising warnings for years from inside the company. And one by one, they had left. And then comes the final chapter, the one that perhaps says the most about what OpenAI has truly become. July 2025. The United States Department of Defense awards a $200 million contract to OpenAI for military AI. January 2025. President Trump announces the Stargate project, a $500 billion joint venture between OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle, and the US government. June 2026. Reports emerge that the White House and OpenAI have been in discussions for nearly a year about a possible government equity stake in the company. The organization created to be independent, neutral, beholden to no government and no corporation, now embedded in both. All of humanity. That is what the mission promised. Military contracts, government stakes, $730 billion valuation, disbanded safety teams, advertisements. Does any of that look like all of humanity? Here is what I want to leave you with. The people who founded OpenAI were not villains. Many of them genuinely believed in what they were building. Some of them left enormous opportunity on the table trying to stay true to the mission. And some of them, the ones who walked out, are still out there, still trying, but the structure they created could not survive the weight of the money. That is the real lesson. Not that OpenAI is uniquely evil, not that one person is to blame, but that when you are building something worth $730 billion, the gravity of capital becomes almost impossible to resist. Missions bend, promises fade, safety teams get disbanded, and ads appear in places they were never supposed to be. The terrifying part is not what OpenAI has already become. The terrifying part is what comes next. This is not social media. This is not a smartphone. This is a technology that its own creators say could one day outthink every human alive, reshape entire economies, rewrite what it means to work, to govern, to exist, and the organization specifically built to make sure that technology served humanity. It is running ads now. So I will leave you with the same question I started with, the same words, but they land differently now. What would you do if you genuinely believed you were building the most dangerous technology in human history? The founders of OpenAI had an answer in 2015. By 2026, that answer had become a $730 billion company with Pentagon contracts and a non-profit board that no longer calls the shots. Make of that what you will.